So another part of our DNA of our church and small group is relational environment. So does that mean like we sit around a fire and sing Kumbaya? Is that what that is?
I hope so.
I hope so.
That
Okay,
fun.
I'm in.
Maybe
I'm
some
there.
s'mores.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, relational environment. I think that's something we throw around too a lot. But what that means is an environment that fosters accountability, that fosters transparency, that fosters vulnerability. So to do life together, to have deep relationship, you actually have to allow yourself to be known by another person. So if I'm just faking it, if I'm just kind of wearing the mask and just playing church with my small group or with the people that I'm trying to do life with, they're never going to know the real me. They're never going to be able to speak into my, I'm never going to be able to develop those deep and just cherished friendships. So the vision for a relational environment is just how can we create an environment where there's safety, where there's transparency is encouraged, often by the leader setting that example, often by even we use small group guidelines to kind of protect the safety of the environment, and where there's accountability that can follow up after that. That it's not just transparency, that we actually want to hold each other to account, that when we share something or we say we're going to do something, that there's follow-up and we're actually being intentional again with each other about what are we actually doing with the truths that we've heard and with the challenges that we've accepted.
So within that relational environment, we ask head, heart, and hand questions when we study Scripture. Why do we do that?
Yeah, so we call it head, heart, hand, right? So head is just whether it's with following up from the sermon from Sunday, which is what a lot of our groups do. They use kind of our curriculum that we put out, or whether it's another study that they're doing, spending some time on head questions, getting our minds wrapped around the truth of Scripture. Jesus said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. So the mind is important, but then the heart as well, examining our beliefs, examining our assumptions about reality, I know this to be true about God, but how is it that I'm actually living? How am I actually believing?
But that might get a little uncomfortable.
It does. Sometimes. It can. It's transparent. It's vulnerable. Right. There might be tears. There might be in front of my wife and like sharing something that, is a conflict issue with us, where I'm having to share an area of shortcoming. And but then there's hand questions where it's like, okay, now what? How do we apply the gospel to this? How do we step away and just re-engage with God's truth and live something out differently, practically, hold each other accountable?
I'm actually supposed to do something with it after we talk about it? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's tough. It's much more comfortable to leave it in the realm of the mind, of the head.
Yeah.
Or just to talk about the heart and like, let's all share our feelings, but we're never going to do anything.
Right.
So, no, head, heart, hand. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. Yeah. That means actually doing something. So
cool.
And we believe that's how God really changes us through His Word.
Yeah.